Okay, to get started, I'm just going to tear up this piece of paper. As you can see, there's like strips of, painted different colours on the paper. So I've just sort of roughly torn them up in those colours. But I want to sort of give the effect on this layout of, I guess, sort of like a painted wall that's the paint's peeling away. So to do that, I'm going to add in a bit of dimension, and I'm also going to add in a little bit of interest with the paper, utilizing the different colors there. So this first one, I've just started with the pink, and now I'm going to go in with that sort of turquoisey sort of color, and another piece there as well. So you can sort of see I'm adding different dimension. The middle piece, I'm actually going to add a double layer of cardboard for the dimension there, and just to give it a little bit more height. So we'll add a little bit more interest, and really give that background a feel of, a painted wall that the paint's all sort of peeling and that sort of thing. So to do that, I'm just going to curl back the edges of the paper, and as you can see, it really sort of comes to life with that, and I really like the effect that happens with that. And just again, just layering those papers really sort of did help give that. So here I'm just using that vellum piece. Decided to cut out some of those sort of doily elements and use them as a bit of an element on the page. It also left me a whole lot if I want to use it on one of the other layouts as well. So I really like that, and they give a nice soft element, but just that little bit more interest. Now, I had a couple of photos in mind, but I wasn't sort of sure until I sort of had the layout sort of working. This photo, I think, works the best. The black and white sort of really does contrast against all that colour, and it really sort of seems to come to life a little bit there as well. So I really like that. Just again, added a little bit of dimension just to help that photo sort of pop off the page a little bit more. Now, as you can see, the doilies just needed to be adhered in, so I'm doing that as well. And I'm just playing around with some of the sticker elements as well, so using those, I guess, to sort of title my page a little bit. You might have some other titles at home that lying around that you might want to use, but these worked really well for my photo. And so yeah, I just went with that, and I've just added a little bit of cardboard behind that one there just to give it a little bit more strength as well. So now these little wooden elements are really cool, so I'm just going to paint up with those in a moment. But first, I've just taken the acetate piece that's in the kit. Now they'll all look a little bit different, but they've basically all got sort of some sort of an edging on them. Just cut that into 2 strips to basically just help frame that photo and really just sort of give it that little bit more depth. I like the acetate doing that. It's not so so strong against the background, and that really works. Now the paint is really thick, which is really cool for this sort of effect. So I'm just using the palette knife just to add a little bit more paint onto those papers, and you can sort of see it just helps to continue to create that look of a painted wall. But the thick paint is really cool for picking up with the palette knife. It sort of really stays there, so you can sort of see how thick it is. But you can also water it down a little bit. So here I've just taken a little bit of water to make it sort of a little bit more of a normal paint consistency, to be able to paint with it a little bit easier, and give a lighter sort of coat onto the wood elements. Now you could leave them natural if you wanted to. I liked to paint them up and sort of continually tie in that metallic paint effect into the layout. I just find that sort of it just does add a little bit more finish when you use it in different ways. And here I've just watered it down a little bit more, and I'm adding a bit of splatter. So again, I've just done another different way of using that same paint, which just helps it all tie in from the foreground to the background, adding that depth and adding that finish to the page, which I think really works, especially on this page. Now, as you can see, the paint really does sort of come to life, and just really does look like, a painted wall by the end of it, which I really, really like. And also too, then I just sort of started playing around with the little sticker elements and just working out which might work for my page. So you can do that as well. Then you get up nice and close and you can sort of see that dimension. You could even peel, you know, curl back the edges at the top and the bottom as well if you wish. Here I'm also just utilizing some of the back of that paper, so just some of those torn bits. Now that piece at the top does annoy me that the script is actually going at a diagonal, so you might want to change that. I didn't see it until really I was looking back at the video and could see that, so it is something that annoys me a little bit. May not annoy you, but I think the darkness of that paper actually really does help frame that photo again, and just add another layer of that dimension. So just finishing up with some journaling. I like to journal when I can on the layout, and yeah, that's the layout done. I hope you enjoyed watching it come together, and I hope you enjoy creating yours just like it. See ya.